Namaste, namaste, and welcome to Monday Midday Chair Yoga. And today is week 3 of our term. I think 2, 3. It doesn't matter. It's a week of our term, and we are going to be further exploring the space across the chest and the upper back, the shoulders, and the neck. So today we might use our squashy balls. So those who are familiar with this class will have a Pilates ball. It's a small one rather than a large one. It's got about 2/3 of its air in, and we use it for all sorts of things in class. Today we're going to use it against a wall. If you are with a partner today, because there are folks in this class who practice 2 in a room, then you can do this to each other if you like, as opposed to using the wall, which is quite a nice thing to do as well. This part of the practice you can leave out completely and it will still be a lovely practice. So if you haven't got one of these balls to hand, then don't worry about it. Alternatives to purchasing a ball are to use a cushion that you feel that moves around relatively well, or a Ziploc bag, maybe not quite full of air, but definitely well sealed, and that provides the same sort of purchase, if you like. So I'm just going to pop that ball out of the way. The other thing that we're going to need today is our belts or straps or a tea towel, something similar to give us some breadth and opportunity to hold on to work those shoulders. With those things to hand, let us begin by just sitting towards the front of our seats, allowing the feet to find heaviness into the floor and allowing the crown of the head to find lift towards the ceiling. Rest your hands wherever they're comfortable. If you like, you can close your eyes here or simply gaze gently downward. Take this moment to step away from everything else that's going on around you and bring yourself into this time and space for yoga. Take a moment to feel how your body feels right now. Notice areas that feel perhaps a little bit of stiffness or tension or discomfort. And as we progress through our practice today, work with compassion in those areas. Notice at least one part of the body that feels peaceful, spacious, and at ease. Allow that sense of ease and calm to spread into other areas of the body, perhaps even softening some tension that you're holding, or giving you an opportunity for an increased sense of stillness or comfort. Now turn your awareness to your breath and notice the breath that you're breathing right now. Notice the gentle ebb and flow of the breath. The sensations of the breath moving in and out of the body. Cool as the breath moves in, warm as the breath is released. And notice the movement of your breath in your body, the parts of your body that move the most as you breathe. Whenever you're ready, you can gently deepen your breath, breathing deeply into the sides of the body, the back and the chest. Breathing out a long, slow breath out, maybe gently engaging across the belly muscles to exhale fully. Soft in the belly to breathe into the sides of the body, the back and the chest. And a long, slow breath out, gently engaging across the belly muscles to breathe out fully. Breathing into rib cage, collarbones, shoulder blades. Long, slow breath out, gently engaging to exhale fully. Doing a few more breaths like this in your own time, finding your own rhythm. On this next breath, we're going to exhale gently, sighing through the mouth. And then feeling the effort melt out of your face, gently draw your chin towards your chest, let your breath find its natural rhythm. And then from here, we're just feeling that length down the back of the neck, perhaps a small roll of the right ear towards the right shoulder, chin towards the chest without forcing or pushing, and a small roll left ear to left shoulder. So just gently going from side to side. If this doesn't feel very comfortable, you can raise your head and simply turn your head from side to side, if that is preferred. If you're happy doing a small roll, if it feels good in your body, then just doing one more to each side, whichever variation you're doing. When you're ready, bringing your head back to center, making yourself a soft smile, and then bringing your head upright. And here we're going to free the arms just to roll the shoulders a little bit. And the other thing we're going to do is lift the chin. So as you lift your shoulders up, maybe lifting your chin up. As your shoulders come down, just head to neutral. Lifting your chin up as your shoulders come up, and then head back to center. Lifting your chin up as your shoulders come up. Very nice. Let's do two more. This action of raising the shoulders provides a little stability in the neck, makes it a nice place to be able to lift the chin. When you're ready, just releasing the arms down to the side, resting the hands on the lap, and we are going to do a little bit more movement, but I want to find my feet on the floor for this. So I'm going to put my block to one side, just give myself a bit more space, maybe the feet slightly wider apart. And we want to have as much of our bodies on our seats, as much of our buttocks and backs of the thighs on the seat as makes you feel centered and secure. Pressing into the feet to find that lift and engage in the legs. So as you touch your thighs, you can feel that your thigh muscles are engaged, maybe on the backs as well as the fronts, but particularly the fronts. Excuse me. And then we're going to take the arms nice and wide. And we're simply going to bring the hands together as we round through the spine, reach the fingertips forward, chin to chest, and then sit tall as we take the arms wide. As the arms come back, maybe open the chest, maybe lift the chin, and then round through the spine. Let's do this with our breath. We're going to exhale as we round through the spine, scoop the belly in, and then inhale as we sit tall, open the chest, and move the arms back a little bit if you can. Exhale as we round through the spine, feet still working. Inhale as we open and lift and find space in the front of the body. Exhaling and inhaling. Let's do one more. Exhaling. Inhaling. And then simply turning the palms and exhaling as you float the arms down to your side. And you can relax your legs a little bit. You might like to take your feet a little bit further forward, put your heels on the floor and just roll the knees one side and then the other. We don't go very far because of our seated position, but if you can, giving yourself a little bit of lift, you can hold on to the seat if it feels good. You're just pivoting on the heels of the feet. If it feels too much to have the heels of the feet being the pivot, you can simply just tap the feet to the floor, which relaxes. It's less effort on the fronts of the thighs, no, the shins. There we are, muscles down the shins. And then we're going to come back to center, step the feet back in and sit tall once more. We're finding that length. The feet are really active, and we're just going to start with the hands on the waist, on the hips rather, and just do a little bend from one side to the other. So feet very active, nice centered lift in the belly muscles, gentle tip from side to side. And then we can free the arms to see if there's a little bit more room to move into. So just a little lift of one arm and lower of the other, going in the direction that makes sense for you. Keeping the chest open. So here we want to avoid folding forward or rounding through the upper back. We want to keep the nice openness of the chest, and even keep the hands slightly behind the body if that helps to keep the chest open. Gently from side to side. Let's do 2 more in each direction. Very good. And then we're going to come back to the center and do a little twisting. So we'll take the hands down towards the right side of the body, just moving in the chest, and then coming back to center, and then hands down to the left side of the body. And you can also move your head and shoulders a little bit more if that feels comfortable. You might start really small, just doing a small movement from side to side, before working into something a little bit bigger if the space and comfort is there to allow. Let's do 1 more to each side. And then coming back to center, and we're just going to release the legs again. So I'm going to turn slightly sideways because I've got more room. Let my legs become quite long and just wave the feet from side to side. So it's not quite the same as it was with the knees bent, where it's more happening through the whole of the hips. But here we're moving the feet from side to side as if you were waving the soles of the feet. You don't have to do it fast. You can even roll in ankle circles here, keeping the knees a little soft, which just allows the legs to move a little bit in the hip sockets. And we'll go the opposite way as well. Very good. Hopefully you can feel your legs switching on as well. But we're going to come back to sitting on our seats. Now I am going to sit slightly sideways. So here I've got the corner of my seat between my knees. I'm going to sit slightly sideways so you can see what's happening. You can do this on your chair, sitting front ways on the chair, as long as you feel you're not going to bash into anything. And we're going to use the left side first, because that's the side that I've got pointing into the center of the room. Excuse me. So placing the feet into the floor and really actively pressing them down there. Doesn't need to be super firm and rigid, but enough that you feel that you can then easily sit nice and tall. We're going to start with the left shoulder and just move that shoulder in little circles. So we're looking for coming forward, up, back, and down. Forward, up, back, and down. Very nice. We're going to keep going in this direction. And if it feels good working with just your shoulder, you can see how it would feel to add the upper arm to that. So working with the elbow, you can keep your fingertips towards your chest or just bend the arm. Doesn't matter what you choose. Nice circles, maybe building up to a bigger circle, maybe starting smaller. If you're sticking with your shoulder, that's fine. You don't need to move with the arm at all. If you're happy moving with the upper arm, you can try moving your whole arm and just adjusting for where your arm comes across the body. Trying to make these circles the fullest circle that feels easy today. Very good. Then we're going to press into our feet and just move our bodies a little bit more. So we're using a little bit of belly muscle action. We're letting the chest and the head, perhaps, and the shoulders follow this movement. So we get some movement down the sides of the body as well. And you can do this just as easily with just your shoulder as you can with just your upper arm or the whole arm. So just doing what feels best for you. Let's do one more in this direction. And then we're going to rest that left arm down to one side and take a note of how it feels in the body. So hopefully you feel a big difference between the two sides of the body, enough that you notice. And hopefully we haven't worked too much with that left shoulder, so it doesn't feel too tired. Just give your shoulders a few shrug and drops or slow shrugs up and down if that's what you prefer. And then we'll go to the other side. So I'm turning sideways just to give myself a little bit more space. You can do this facing front on if you like, pressing the feet into the floor, finding that lift through the body, and then just moving your right shoulder. We're moving it forwards, up, back, and down. And if you only move in one direction, that's the direction. So if we were going to come and do this in both directions, it doesn't matter. But if you're only moving in one direction, that's the one we really want to focus on. Very good. If it feels good to move with your shoulder, you can try moving with your upper arm. A nice bent elbow to let you feel if that feels good to you today. And if it doesn't, go back to using your shoulder. And you might need to build into from small circles to bigger circles. That's fine too. If you're ready, you can try exploring this with your whole arm, the whole arm lengthened. And again, it might feel like you want to start with some smaller circles, or it might feel that one of the other variations is better for you today, shoulder or just upper arm. When you're ready, you can press it into your feet, whatever arm position you've got, trying to move the upper body in conjunction with the arms. So we're turning in the chest, in the head, we're using the legs for support, nice and firm across the belly muscles. We've got that movement all through the torso. So you can feel the rib cage moving around, the shoulder blades sliding around. It's really lovely feeling of being involved in the movement. Much less stress on the shoulder to move this way, but we'll just do one more anyway, so we don't do too many. And then when you're ready, just coming to sit back in the center, relaxing the arms down to the side, taking a moment to feel the effect of your practice. And we're going to do some more work with our shoulders in just a minute, but coming down to the feet at the moment. So we often do this sequence with the feet. We're going to start with rocking up onto the toes and then rocking back onto the heels, using as much purchase as you need to be able to facilitate that. So sitting as far back in the chair as you need to, rocking forwards and backwards. Today, if you can, try to rock onto the balls of your feet and then maybe towards the tips of the toes, and then back to the balls of the feet, back to the heels of the feet. So a little slower, more precise, seeing if you can just get that extra bit of lift. And that's completely optional, but for those of you who have been doing this motion and find it quite easy, that could just be the extra challenge that you need. It's really good for the strength of our feet. Move in this way. Awesome stuff. Let's do two more. Very good. Last one. Aces. And then keeping the feet on the floor, so heels and toes, we're going to roll to the inside edge of the foot, trying to lift the little toes off the floor, and then roll to the outside edge, trying to lift the big toes off the floor. So rolling across the ball of the foot from inside edge to outside edge. And what you'll notice is that the knees barely move. So if your knees are moving inwards and outwards, you're doing this with your hips rather than with your ankles. We're trying to work on ankle stability. So rolling to the inside, rolling to the outside and trying to keep your knees relatively still. So they're quite passive. There's a little bit of movement because ankle movements are connected to knee movements. Just going from inside to outside. And it's okay for it to be challenging and for you to make a much more subtle movement, as long as you feel, some people will feel like they're maybe dropping the arch towards the floor and then lifting the arch away from the floor, rolling the inner edge of the foot towards the floor, rolling the outer edge of the foot towards the floor, just taking that motion. And for some of us, with our sympathetic movements, it helps to do it with your hands as well. So if it's feeling super challenging, you can try pronating and supinating, as it's called, your hands, your wrists. Very good. Let's come back to the center and then just wriggle the toes a little bit, because sometimes we've put a bit of tension in there. We're going to bring the feet all the way together and then try to open the feet by articulating toe and heel. So we'll step the heels out, then the toes out, then the heels out, then the toes out, going as far as feels comfortable for your feet, and then coming the other way. So heels in, toes in, heels in, toes in, heels in, toes together. Going in and out 2 more times, just getting to wherever is good for you, taking as much time as you need to, doing nice steady movements, thinking about just pivoting, toes together. 1 more time, in and out. And you can do this standing up as well if you like. In your practice at home, you might prefer to do some of these seated postures standing, or you might prefer to keep sitting down, and that's fine too. Either one of these is good. So now we've done this, we're going to shift ourselves back into our seats so that we support much more of the thigh on the seat itself. And then with the toes out and feet out in front of the body, we're going to begin with just pointing and flexing. So if I sit sideways, it's maybe a little bit easier to see. So we're pointing the toes and flexing the feet, pointing the toes and flexing the feet. And here we want to come to a movement that gives us the opportunity to move through our range, but without causing cramp. So if you point your toes all the way forward and that causes you to cramp up anywhere in your leg, just do a smaller movement. Release your cramp first, of course. But just do a smaller movement, because movement is key. The range of movement is not as important, although ideally we would like to exercise our range of movement, but not as important. And all the while, we're using these strong thigh muscles to sit tall with our legs extended. They can be lower down if that's easier for you, if you get any pain across your knees. And then we're going to rest the feet down and just give them a gentle kick. So we're not looking to kick all the way up to straight, just a gentle kick forwards and backwards. Maybe a gentle swing from side to side as well. And then we're going to bring the legs back out in front of us and do alternate. So flex one heel, point the opposite toe. Flex and point. Or lengthen the foot and then draw the toes back towards us. Very good. And then from here, we're going to just separate the feet a little bit and do some ankle circles. Having done all of that mobility on the ankle with the foot on the floor, this should feel hopefully nice and freeing. Let's go the opposite way as well. All the while, we're building some nice strength in those thigh muscles. And then we're going to relax the legs, maybe just sit slightly further forward and allow the legs to move in circles around here. Now, if you're really tall and your feet don't come off the floor when you flex your feet, then you can do the lightest touch on the floor, if you can manage. Super. Or you might like to sit a bit further back. Just make sure you're not going to kick your chair. Very good. And then releasing back to center. So we're going to stay in a seated position for now, but we want to lean slightly forward. In fact, I don't know why I changed. I should stay sideways. So we want to come towards the front of the seat again, so we can find good purchase with the feet. And then we're going to lean slightly forward, but we want to do this from the hip. So we don't want to round through the upper back. We want to lean the chest over the thighs and then rest the left hand down on the left knee or thigh. We're going to take the right hand and reach it out to the side. And then here, we're going to take that hand and turn the palm of the hand backwards and see if we can slide the right hand behind the right hip. If that feels comfortable, then we can move from there. We're just going to roll through the upper body. If it doesn't feel comfortable, keep your arm out to the side, but turn your palm backwards. So you're moving the whole chest with the arm as well. If you're able to hold it behind your back, then doing that. So we're lengthening out of the crown of the head, pressing the left hand down. We're using the leverage of both arms to gently twist and release back to center. Gently twist and release back to center. Let's do one more. Gently twist and release. Reaching your arm nice and long, bring it back to the side of the body and then sit tall. We'll take a cleansing breath. Breathe in, take the arms around the body and up, maybe lifting your chest. Breathing out, palms down to the center of the chest. Very good. Same position, we're going to shift the chest forward, find length in the spine, left hand to left knee. This time we're reaching the right arm out and we're going to try and bring the fingers to the back of the head. And then here, we're gently opening that right elbow to the right as we twist to the right, firm in the feet, the belly, and then releasing back to center. So we're gently twisting to the right, holding, and then twisting back to center. Let's do one more. Twisting to the right. Maybe this time holding as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, see if you can twist just a little bit more. And then release. Release both hands down. Sit nice and tall. Cleansing breath. Breathe in. Take the arms around the body and up. Breathing out, palms down to the center of the chest. I'm just going to shift myself this way, but you guys can stay where you are in your chair. We're going to lengthen out of the base of the spine, fold forward and let the right hand find the right knee and reach the left arm out to the left. So here, if possible, as we open, we want to turn the left palm so it's facing back behind us. And that might be enough. And for some people, that might not be possible. So just reaching your arm out to the side, that's fine. Doesn't matter where it goes from there. But if you're able to, bending your arm at your elbow and bringing the back of your hand towards the back of the left hip. And then whichever position you're in, we're going to press into the feet and roll the left shoulder open. So we're looking towards the left and then come back to the center. And then press into the feet. Use both arms to move into this twist, but with a nice long spine and back to center. So avoid any curling forward, which won't be helpful. Sit nice and tall. One more time, twisting to the left and returning to center. And then reaching your arm out to the side and floating it back down. Sit nice and tall. We'll take a cleansing breath. So breathing in, take the arms around the body and up. Breathing out, palms down to the center of the chest. Very good. Last variation here. We're going to sit tall, find that hinge forward, right hand down on the right thigh, reaching the left arm out. And then this time, if possible, bring your left fingertips to the back of the head so the palm faces the same way as your face. And then here, we're gently opening through that left side as we turn to the left. And releasing back to center, nice and firm in the belly muscles. Using that power that we have behind the chest, so the upper back is what's working here, and releasing. And then this time, as we twist, doesn't matter if your hand is here or out to the side, as we twist, we're going to hold as we breathe in. And then as you breathe out, see if you can just move a touch more, and then release all the way back to center. Relax your arm down, sit nice and tall. Make any movements that feel good. We'll take a cleansing breath anyway, breathing in. And breathing out. Very nice. Okay, so let us bring our belts into play now. So here we can sit in any position that feels comfortable. I'm just going to stick with where I am. We want to have good purchase on the floor, again with the feet, so that we can sit nice and tall. And then we're going to use our belts for a little bit of movement. So we want the arms wide enough on the belt that the arms can move up to you at the highest point that feels comfortable for you. So if you need to widen your belt, even if you need to hold it in the long position to get the arms up, then that's fine. But we want to also try to practice at the narrowest point. So we don't want the arms wider than they have to be to get into that movement. Okay, or that position. So pressing into the feet to stand tall, holding the belt so it's taut, so it's not wiggly in the center, it's taut. We're going to lift the arms up, opening the chest, firming the belly muscles, and then lower the arms down. Let's do 2 more like that. Lifting the arms up, try to avoid lifting your chest and sticking your bottom out as well. Lower the arms down. To do that, we need to activate the belly muscles, activate the feet. So lifting the arms up, it's just the arms that are moving, and lowering the arms down. Try to keep the arms straight or lengthened if possible. This time, we're going to lift the arms up, and then here we're going to let the shoulders come up and then draw the shoulders down. And just gently take a little side bend to the right, firm in the belly, back to center, side bend to the left, firm in the belly, back to center. Let's do 1 more to each side. Try to keep the shoulders down, try to keep the chest without being too lifted. And then back to the center, relaxing the arms down. That's harder when you're holding it up for a little while. So release the belt from your hands. Maybe roll your wrists with nice long fingers. And then with the arms nice and relaxed, just do some gentle shoulder rolls, any movements of the head and neck that you need to as well. Aces. So we are going to do a movement that adds on here. So I will turn sideways, I think, for this one, but you guys can stick with where you are. So we want to find purchase on the floor. We want to really lift, engage in the belly muscles, have the belt taut, but not pulled really tight, and as narrow as we can. Lifting your arms up, firm in the belly so you don't overarch in the spine, drawing your shoulders down, and then bending the elbows so the elbows bend almost out to the sides or slightly backwards to lower that belt to the top of the head, or if it happens quite readily, the back of the head or the back of the neck. Whatever it comes to, doesn't matter what it is. Reaching up and then lowering the belt down in front. And we're going to do 4 more of those. Let's do 4. If 4 is too many for you, just rest anytime you need a bit of a rest, okay? Nice and firm in the bottom of the body, firm in the belly to reach the belt up, holding it slightly taut but not super tight, lifting the shoulders, lowering the shoulders, and then drawing the belt down by widening the elbows and keeping the elbows back, not forwards, but back to open the chest. Very nice. And then reaching the belt back up again and reaching the arms all the way down in front. For our last 3, we're just going to go up and down. So, so I'll explain what I mean. So finding the normal position, coming up, lifting the shoulders, then lowering the shoulders. And from here, I mean going up and down behind the head. So drawing the elbows wide, drawing the belt down to that space, hopefully towards the head or behind the neck, and then reaching up again. And then instead of lowering the hands down in front of the body, we come back to that wide elbow position, nice and firm in the belly, and lifting up again. And then last time, don't hold too tight, but just keep the belt nice and taut, elbows nice and wide, belly working so you don't flare your chest. Up again, and then releasing down in front of the body, and releasing the hands. So shaking out the hands, maybe rolling the shoulders, making any movements that feel good with your upper body. And you can here put your thumbs into your palms, wrap the fingers around, and do lovely wrist circles here and the opposite way, which really helps to release the tension from holding onto the belt. Let's shake out the arms, shake out the hands. Give ourselves another little swing and a roll. We're going to stand up to do our Kati Chakrasana. So belts can go to one side. They can stay on the back of the chair if you like. We're going to do our sit to stand. Oh, Janice is up too quick. Sorry, guys. We are going to stand up and do Kati Chakrasana. My apologies to Janice and Helen, who had stood up in a very efficient and enthusiastic manner. But we're going to use the opportunity to sit to stand, so we get that we're long-term preparing or long-term maintaining the strength in the legs. So enough of your buttocks on the seat that you feel a good, strong purchase and very stable. Knees over the feet, firm in the belly. Reach the hands forward, just float your buttocks off the seat and then float gently back down. And we'll do a few of these. You can use your hands for a bit of momentum. So you can swing the arms forward to get that lift and just lightly kiss the buttocks down. Let's do one more like this. Up and down. This time coming all the way up. So coming onto the feet, pressing into the legs to stand really tall, opening the front of the body, and then coming back the way, reaching the hands forward, reaching the tailbone back behind you, bending the knees to lightly sit down, or as lightly as possible. Grace comes with practice. Let's do one more all the way up and all the way down, opening the chest, opening the front of the body, particularly this bit across the hips, coming back the way, gently sitting down, and then this time we're going to stand up and stay standing up. So floating onto the feet, pressing into the legs to stand all the way tall, and then reaching the arms down to the sides. Allow your shoulders to soften. I can't tell if it's just from this class or also from the previous class, but my shoulders are feeling quite tired. So just bear that in mind. We're going to take the chair to one side. In my case, in my space, I need to do that, but maybe you don't need to. Excuse me, and then stand with the feet nice and wide apart. And if anyone needs to hold on to a chair to do Kati Chakrasana, remember you can just swap hands on the chair as you go from side to side. But for anyone who's not needing to, we're going to allow the knees to be nice and soft, so we feel the weight of the body now into the feet in a different way. Our relationship with gravity has changed. We're able to stand in the center nice and tall, keep the belly muscles firm, and just gently twist from side to side. And as we twist, we can allow the shoulders and the chest to move, the head to follow the movement as well. Arms to wrap the body and tap the body wherever they fall. And because we've been working with the upper back, we're going to try some of this with the hips still and making the movement come a little bit higher up. So we're trying to hold the hips in place with the strength of the legs and the core muscles across the lower part of the torso. And we're trying to make the movement come from the waist and above, mostly, and allow the arms to be really loosey-goosey. Whenever you're ready, you can try pivoting on your toes if you'd like to. So that frees that movement. You might need to slow it down ever so slightly just to get into a good rhythm. And then you might like to add a soft bend in the knees, little bounce and twist, bounce and twist. And if that feels like a step too far today, it's okay. Just keep your feet solid on the ground and keep twisting, but without the bounce. This bounce and twist is a really nice way to prepare for shifting body weights and also for preventing falls, which is really good too. Whenever you're ready, you can let the bounce go, simply pivot on the toes, then bring the feet to steadiness and sway back to center. As you come back to center, spend a moment in stillness, but feeling the effect of your practice so far. Hopefully you feel wonderfully open across the front of the body, strengthened in the back of the body, a little bit invigorated, a little bit energized, and ready for our next practice. So we are going to come to use our chairs again, but at the back of the chair. So stepping up to the chair, and we're going to step back with the left foot first. So here we are going to step away from the chair with the left foot, and we want the chair to be close enough for the purchase that you need. So if you want your chair to be a little bit closer towards you, then bring it in or step yourself towards it. We're going to bend the front knee, just making sure that we can still see the toes of the right foot, which is the foot that's ahead, and then lengthen the front leg. If you can, step your left foot slightly further back. But if not, that's okay. It's okay. So we've got both legs long and straight. You can have both hands on the chair if you want to. I'm going to keep my left hand down by my left side because that allows my chest to open just a little bit. And then we're bending the right knee and pressing into the left heel. And then we're coming back to both legs long. So we're bending just the right knee, pressing into the left heel, nice and firm across the belly, maybe a gentle tuck under of the tailbone, and then back to center. This time we're going to add on. So we're bending that right knee. We've found the position of the legs that feels really good and strong and stable. You can roll your weight in and out across your foot like we did on the floor earlier to find center. And then we're going to firm the belly to lift the chest a little. And then with our left arm, make a nice big circle around that side of the body. Now it's okay if the arm doesn't like to move here, you can just do it with your shoulder. Or, just as we did earlier, you can do it with your upper arm. Or you can do it with your whole arm. So whichever one of these is fine, allow your torso to move so you can move your shoulders a little bit. Maybe move your head a little bit. Very good. Going to keep this position of the legs still working, belly still working. And this time we're going to turn the chest to face more towards the front of the chair, or the back of the chair, and then reach the left arm over. And here, just begin to explore reaching that left arm to the right side of the body, pressing into the left heel at the same time. A little sideways stretch here. And then when you're ready, coming back to the center, and relaxing your left arm down to your left side. We're going to lengthen the right leg. And then we're just going to bend both knees a little bit, maybe peel the left heel off the floor and lightly step the left foot forward. Sometimes it feels heavy to move after being so strong. That's okay. In place here, we can do a little march. And then a little downward facing dog. So hands on the back of the chair, walking the feet away, nice wide feet today, soft in the knees, lengthening your tailbone behind you and just swaying your buttocks from side to side. Very good. Hopefully that feels good to you as well. When you're ready, you can press into the hands to stand all the way up. I'm going to shift my chair. You guys don't need to, you're just going to do the other foot. So we'll start standing close to the chair and stepping back with the right foot and just making sure that you've got enough a purchase on the chair itself and that you can bend the front knee and the front knee comes over the front toes. So that's left knee over left toes, lengthening your leg and just see if you can step your right foot back just a touch more. It doesn't matter if you can't, it's okay not to do that if that doesn't suit you. We're going to start with the right arm just by the side a little, or both hands on the chair if you need to. Pressing into your right heel, maybe gently tucking under, lifting in the belly muscles, bending the left knee, pressing into the right heel as you come into the bent knee position, and then lengthening the leg to be straight. So focusing on pressing down in both feet. So what we avoid doing is traveling forward with the upper body towards the chair. We simply sink between the two legs. So this time we're going to sink down between the two legs, pressing that back heel into the floor and then we'll make some movements with our right arm. So right arm is going to make nice big circles, either with the shoulder, the upper arm, or the whole arm around the body. Keeping the position of the legs, the front knee bent, pressing into the back heel, nice and firm across the belly, active across the buttocks, the legs. I think we did about 5 on the previous side. So taking your time to do 2 more. Using as much purchase on the chair for support as you need. And this is a little challenge in balance because we've got the legs in an odd position and we're moving the head as well, but trying to keep that. Very good. And then here, keeping the position of the legs, we're going to turn the chest to face a little bit more towards the front and then reach the right arm up. And then we're trying to reach over towards the left side. So we're doing a side bend with the upper body rather than a twist. And just breathing, coming back to the center. Very nice. Did we do more than one of those? We'll do another one for luck. So we're going to reach the right arm out to the right, nice and firm in the belly, reaching over to get that sense of length, really pressing into the right heel, and coming back to the center. And then here we're going to lengthen the left leg and then bend both knees. Maybe just let the right heel come away from the floor a little. And when you feel ready, you can lightly step your right foot forward. It might take more than one go, or you have to do it in parts. That's fine too. Marching in place. Little march in place. Very good. And then a downward facing dog again. So we're walking with feet away from the chair, nice and bent in the knees. So we're really lengthening the tailbone back, scooping the belly in. And here, maybe just gently turning the head from side to side if it feels good. Pressing into the hands, you can sway the hips from side to side. You can do both. You can undulate in any way that feels like a nice release in this posture. When you're ready, pressing into your hands, coming into a more upright position, standing with your chair back for as long as you need to feel super solid on your feet again. Aces. So we are going to use our squashy balls now with a wall or with a partner. If you don't have access to a wall, but you do have access to a partner. I will say though that they eat hair. So if you've got an opportunity to pop your hair out of the way, if you've got shorter hair, it might not matter so much. But hair out of the way so that you don't get it eaten up by the ball. And then we're taking this ball and we're using our body weight against the ball on the wall to be able to soften and release some of the effort we've made in class today. So we're placing that ball behind us. And if needed, you can get yourself to the wall and then just move your ball up a little bit or down a little bit, or see how you go. So we want to work primarily on the upper back. I've started with a ball underneath my shoulder. This is the easiest way to get to the wall, is to put the ball there, put your shoulder on it. That's it. And we can just move ourselves with our steady feet. You can use a chair for support if you want to, around this ball. So we can use your imagination really to move gently from side to side. We're leaning onto the wall at the same time, just a little bit, so it gives us an extra support. And we're trying to allow that ball to find a way to massage every part of the back that we've used. So we can allow it to come down the ribs towards the waist, around the outside of the body into the upper arms. And I'm going to move my ball up a little bit, so you can start with the ball a little bit higher up as you put it in from the side and work across more of the upper back, the top of the shoulders, the space between the shoulder blades, wherever feels like it's a nice place for you to work. And you get to do all sorts of swaying movements, which is really good. It's a little bit like a dance with the ball against the wall. And that in turn is quite good for our legs and for our core as well. Whenever the ball creeps up or creeps down, feel free to replace it. And remember to allow some work across the back of your neck, maybe the base of your skull as well. So you can do that by rolling up and down if that feels good, or just placing the ball up there and allowing your body the opportunity to turn against it from side to side. So we don't want to, we can spend, we can spend as long as you like doing this. And you can do it across the whole of the back, the low back as well, and into the buttocks, if that feels good to you. So if you've got an area of the back that feels like it could do with a little massage that is not across the upper back, then feel free to give yourself a little massage there. And you can, again, work with the sides of the body, which is quite nice to work into the bottom of the rib cage, across the softer parts of the abdomen at the side there, and even into the buttocks if you'd like to. So a little wiggle of your bottom against the wall. And be guided by your intuition. So do what feels good, what feels useful, and you might find that it creeps out and needs to be put back in again. So once you've worked through all of the areas of back that you wanted to work through, I'd like you to find a place to put that ball so you can lean against it. Move your feet slightly further away. Do take care if you're in socks that you're not going to slide. And then rest your head back to the wall. So here I'm actually going to take my hair down again. Rest your head back to the wall so the back of the head is supported and the chest is slightly opened. And you might need to play with the position of the ball so that you get that feeling of leaning into the ball, and then allowing the arms to rest down to the sides. And here we're looking for a sense of openness across the chest, a support for the back of the head so that the muscles that support the head upright can switch off for just a few moments. Closing your eyes if you feel comfortable. Don't do that if you're likely to fall asleep, of course. Just keep them open, gazing gently downward, and taking a few deeper breaths. And as you breathe, you can feel space all around the rib cage, around the back of the body, the sides, and the front. So breathe deeply into that space. Sigh softly out through your mouth if it feels like a nice thing to do. Maybe doing 2 more deep breaths, softening your face. And then whenever you're ready, you can just gently open your eyes if they've been closed. Tip yourself slightly forward so you're upright. Walk your feet back towards you. Take the ball out from underneath you. And just place it to one side where it's not going to be underfoot or cause an accident later in the day. And we are ready for relaxation now. And I hope you feel ready for it too. So gather the things that you need for relaxation. You might look underneath your feet or a blanket, similar. Oh, excuse me. And then just finding your way all wrapped up and nice and cozy. I'm going to take a quick swig of juice. I apologize. It is sky juice, it's just water, but just to lubricate the voice for relaxation. So coming to sitting far back into your seat, if you have the opportunity to sit with your chair against the wall, you might like to sit back in your seat and rest your head against the wall as well. That is something some people really enjoy and others do not. So if it doesn't work for you, don't hold it for relaxation. Excuse me. And then when you're settled, when your arms are nice and relaxed, maybe just closing your eyes at this point. Take a moment to arrive in this position, letting the legs begin to relax, the body beginning to soften. We'll take some deep breaths. Breathing in, we're going to sigh gently out through the mouth. And repeat that 3 more times. Long, deep breath in. As you exhale, allow the effort of your practice to release. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, softening and relaxing your muscles. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, surrendering back and down into your chair and the floor. Allow your breath to fall into its natural rhythm and fall into quietness. Take your awareness into your forehead. Feel it soften. Feel the area around your eyes relaxing. The space between your eyebrows spreading. Your mouth, tongue, and jaw relaxing. Allow the whole of the body to feel heavy, warm, supported, softening back, softening down. Move your awareness to your breath. Find a comfortable, soft, slow, deep breath. With each breath in, drawing in light, energy, and harmony. With each breath out, releasing tension, fatigue, and discomfort. Breathing in light, energy, and harmony. Breathing out tension, fatigue, and discomfort. Allow your breath to fall in this rhythm for the remainder of your relaxation, softening and relaxing a little deeper with every exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Move your awareness back into your hands and your feet by wiggling your fingers, your toes, maybe rolling your wrists and your ankles. Just ignore any popping or clicking as long as it's not sore. When you're ready, take a deep breath in and stretch the body in any way that feels good. Maybe yawning. Stretch the face. Maybe just gently easing to one side and then the other. And then finish with your hands resting either palms together or one on top of the other at the chest. And you might like to bring your chin towards your chest. A touch. Over the last few weeks, we've been working on compassion and heart-centered practice, which is everything that moves the upper back in this way. So given that we have stirred that kind of energy, it's the perfect opportunity to bring to mind a person or a place or a concept, like the concept of peace or the concept of patience, and hold it in your heart center. Whatever you're holding there in this energy that we have lifted and opened and stirred, allow it to be bathed in the light of your compassion and kindness and love. Give yourself a gentle smile. And when you're ready, raising your head, releasing your hands and opening your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice. I hope you're enjoying this series that is all about the upper back. I recorded this week a short video that is a passive chest opener that can be done in bed over a pillow. And so it's perfect for chair yogis as well as mat yogis. So do go and check that out, because it's the way I start and finish my day. It's a really nice way to access parts of the body we can't get to in our chair practice. I look forward to practicing with you again. Namaste.